Good morning, everybody. I wanted to do a video this morning. Excuse me. And I was going to wait until I was outside because it was a pretty nice day. But I was watching Panda Bear eat, of course, like I do every morning, and I'm petting her sister. Yes, I am. And all of a sudden, Panda Bear laid down. And I thought, okay, well, it's time to go ahead and open the doors and let the others in. But I feel bad about that because the minute Ruby comes in, Panda Bear's going to hop up to go running out the door because Ruby's such a poop to her. So I sat here a little bit longer, and Panda Bear started eating from the hay pile that I had put out. So I'm going to let her relax and eat for as long as she wants, and so I thought I would go ahead and start the video. I wanted to talk about the little lamb that we had and just kind of explain what happened, because I think the video that I did that day that we had him was so crazy chaotic because he was, and that's a tail wagging, because he was jumping on me and in my face and just the sweetest little thing. I thought I would explain why I had that lamb a little bit better and why I gave him back. So I got a text from my friend Charlene who said what she thought was an orphan lamb who needed to be bottle fed and the owner didn't want to do it. And so then I found out he was a Dorper, and they're great big meat sheep typically. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. Well, then I said, well, why don't you ask her if he's a cross? Maybe he's been crossed with something and he produces wool, and it would make more sense. I have to think in terms of am I just getting great big lawn ornaments as much as I love my lawn ornaments, or are they able to help pay for themselves? I do have to be not just soft-hearted all the time. So turns out he was a little bit woolly because Dorpers are a cross between, and I'm going to get this wrong, I know, but they're a cross between a Persian, there's a name for the breed, but it's a type of Persian hair sheep that basically they grow hair like kind of like goats, and they don't have to be sheared. So a cross between that and a Dorset down, which is a wool sheep. And so I guess what happens is the sheep will be born and they are either woolly or hairy. And this little guy that wasn't thriving very well was woolly. Okay, so then what Charlene and I found out is that the mama didn't die, so he wasn't an orphan. But this little guy was about half the size of his brother, and he's kind of just standing there hunched in his little pen, not eating. And the mom had really bad mastitis in one side. And when the mastitis cleared up, that side that had it so bad, it won't produce milk anymore. So she's only producing milk out of one side, and the big brother is getting it all. He's shoving the little guy out of the way. Okay, so after all this, after determining what was really going on, and that yes, he probably would produce wool, even if it's not enough wool for spinners, I could probably use it for felting. I could sell it for felters, just trying to be practical. And though I don't like to be practical all the time, I decided I would do it. And the lady had already decided she would bottle feed, even though she really, really didn't want to. So I said, well, I'll do it. Okay. So lots of mistakes made here. First off, if the lamb has someone who's going to bottle feed, even if they don't want to, if they have an owner who's willing to do it, the owner just needs to do it. And especially if the mom is still alive, unless it's desperate, unless the baby is dying, newborn, cold, can't get any colostrum, etc., you don't take the baby away from the mom. Okay, so lots of lessons learned. Okay, so anyway, got him, had that wonderful day with him, figured out feeding schedule, talked to Red Barn, and God bless Red Barn Veterinary Services because they were on the phone with me for probably 15-20 minutes that day, going through, how much does he weigh, what's the feeding, what amount should he get, etc., etc. So had that all figured out and everything. Thought everything would be great. well, great-ish. I knew that he would probably be upset that night, so I knew I was going to have to sleep in the living room with him. But all night long, he was trying to nurse on my face. Excuse me. So I would, kind of drift off to sleep, and then I would get this hard little head punching me in the chin or the nose or the forehead. And bless his little heart, he was looking for his mommy. And when I would push him down next to me, like, come on, it's okay, it's okay. And I'd pet him and everything, he would just grind his teeth and cry. His little whimpering. And he'd walk around the living room whimpering and grinding his teeth. And by this point, I knew he had passed all of his milk. He had pooped and peed a lot. You gotta love these TMI videos that I make. Huh, Black Velvet? Yes, you're beautiful. Okay, I'll just back up a little here. He wasn't sick. He wasn't hurting. He was just so very sad because he didn't have his mama and his brother. So that morning, I was sleeping on the couch with him, and I just thought and thought about it, and I knew what needed to be done. I knew he needed to go back. So I talked to his owner, and she said, that's totally fine. She understood, and she's willing to bottle feed. She's not, upset or unhappy about having to bottle feed. She really does want what's best for him. So I just should have stayed out of it altogether, not try to come swooping in to save the day and save this little lamb. But again, I feel like this life, this farming life, in fact, we were talking about it when Charlene drove me to take the lamb back yesterday, day before yesterday. We were talking to his owner, and she was talking about all of her projects on her farm, and she said, it's a big work in progress. And we just started laughing. It's like, yep, that's what a farm is. It is one ginormous work in progress, learning experience, learning curve, crazy amounts of learning curves. You hear that? That's probably Cupcake on the other side, chewing on the whatever that metal stuff is on the barn. She's good like that. Okay, so what else did I have to say? Oh, we took him back. The minute Charlene opened the back of her car or her van SUV thingy, he started crying, and the mama started crying, like, that, not crying, but the mama noise that sheep make. It's like this guttural deep inside. I mean, she knew that was her baby, and somebody had better darn well get him back in the pen with her. So the owner got him out, put him down in the pen, and he got lots of sniffs, and he got to duck under and start nursing. And of course, his brother does dominate that one side that is working. But he was happy. I mean, the little boy was very, very happy, and the mama was happy, and she stomped her hoof at me. I tried to bend down to just kind of say goodbye to him and look at him, and he was looking at me like, oh, I know you. We slept together last night on that couch. That was nice. But yeah, the mama was having none of it. She just looked right at me and stomped her hoof like, you need to go now. You kidnapped my baby, and you need to go. So that is what happened. And I got pictures yesterday from his owner that he's doing fine. She's feeding him. He's doing great. And I think she appreciated just getting some more suggestions as to how much to feed, how often, etc. I think overall it was a great learning experience for everybody, and fortunately it was one of those learning experiences where nothing bad happened. I've had too many of those learning experiences where you just wish you could go back and change what you did because it ended in disaster. I think I might walk out there and see who that is. That might be Cupcake. I'm pretty sure it's Cupcake. It's usually, if there's noises and craziness going on, it's usually Cupcake. Hello, Bear Bear. You ate a lot today. I am so glad that you ate so much. So that is the deal with the little man. He is back where he belongs, and all is well. And yes, I was sad for sure, but I was more sad watching him be so distraught that night. I just couldn't, there was just no reason to do that to him. Okay, I'm going to open the door. Yeah, I'm sorry, honey. Ruby's going to come in. And there's my Garnet. There's a handsome boy. Oh, why did you jump in? I thought you heard me. You silly man. Oh, it's just so muddy and ugh. It's ucky. Yes, it is. Everything's ucky. Okay, let's see who's making that noise. Hey, Sam. It wasn't you because you're a good boy. Oh, it's Radagast. Or possibly Rosie. My apologies, Cupcake, wherever you are. Yes, it wasn't Cupcake. Sounds like it wasn't me either. A good boy. A good big boy. So that's what's happening. How you doing, Bear? Panda Bear is still eating really well, and I'm really thankful for that. She's definitely slowing down. She spends most of her time in the barn sleeping, and I'm hoping that once spring gets here and it gets warmer, she will want to be outside more. Her arthritis isn't any worse. In fact, honestly, to me, her movement, sorry, I was just focusing on her and not where the camera was. Just in watching her walk, I think the arthritis is, if anything, it's a little better on the medication that she's on. So I'm really thankful for that. But she's an old lady, and she just is slowing down, and she wants to sleep. But I'm hoping that this summer, spring and summer, will give her some good sunshine and have her help her feel a little bit more active. That's what I'm trying to say. It does help that the snow's going away. Yes. So that is the news here. I think that's all I wanted to tell you all about. Just a better explanation of the whole lamb story. And to everybody who commented and said such nice things, thank you. That really means a lot. It meant an awful lot to hear folks say that I was there for him when he needed me, and that was okay. You know, sometimes you're not meant to be with somebody forever to help them out. And hopefully I helped the little guy out, because he was awful fun to have for the short time we did. But he's fine. His mom's fine. His brother's really fine. He's huge. And they're a happy little family again. Huh, Sam. He says, I don't really care. I just want food. All right. I will go ahead and end this now. What? Radagast, you don't need to eat the tree, baby. You're eating the tree bark, which is not good for the tree. Sam, what are we going to do about that? He says, I'm going to go over and eat tree bark later, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. You're a good boy, Mr. Sam. Yes, you are. All right. Thanks for listening. Hope it's a pretty day wherever you are. Take care.